Homefront 2013. Phil Broker, a former undercover DEA agent, tries to leave violence behind after a mission goes wrong and costs him a friend. Haunted and exhausted, he moves with his young daughter Maddie to a quiet Louisiana town, hoping for peace. The bayous look calm, but old secrets cling to him like humid air. Phil takes a small construction job, meets friendly neighbors, and believes he can finally be a father instead of a soldier. Yet even simple schoolyard trouble hints that danger never stays buried, especially when pride, drugs, and desperation rule this forgotten corner of America. Maddie's first day at school brings hope and heartbreak when she stands up to a bully named Teddy, whose violent temper mirrors his troubled home. After a small fight, Teddy's parents, Cassie and meth dealer Jimmy Tierdo, blame Maddie and confront Phil with anger instead of reason. Phil handles it calmly, but Jimmy's pride is bruised, and he begins searching into Phil's past. Rumors spread quickly in a small town, and Jimmy hears whispers about Phil's old DEA life. To Jimmy, this stranger becomes both a threat and a potential opportunity in the dangerous drug trade. Jimmy Tierdo runs a shaky criminal empire fueled by meth, ego, and paranoia. He believes power means never backing down, so Phil's quiet confidence unsettles him deeply. Wanting revenge and leverage, Jimmy asks biker criminals to investigate Phil, hoping to uncover secrets. They soon learn Phil once went by another name and helped destroy major drug operations. Jimmy realizes that exposing Phil could bring dangerous enemies or valuable bounties. Meanwhile, Phil tries to build a normal routine with Maddie, helping with homework and fishing by the river, unaware that shadows from his former life are closing in fast. Cassie Tierdo, Jimmy's sister, senses disaster brewing, but feels trapped by family loyalty and addiction. She watches Jimmy spiral further into violence, even as his deal-making grows more reckless. When bikers threaten Phil's home, Cassie warns him quietly, revealing Jimmy's plan to sell Phil's identity to powerful criminals. Phil now understands his peaceful dream is shattered. He prepares defensive measures, hiding weapons and creating escape plans for Maddie. Despite fear, he refuses to run again, knowing that fleeing only puts his daughter in greater danger. The coming storm must be faced head-on, no matter the cost. Phil contacts his old partner, confirming that a deadly cartel wants him alive for revenge. With limited time, he fortifies his house like a battlefield, setting traps and practicing emergency drills with Maddie. He explains that sometimes good people must fight to protect what they love. Meanwhile, Jimmy arranges a massive meth deal, planning to use Phil as a bargaining chip to impress the cartel. Cassie struggles with guilt, knowing innocent blood may be spilled. Tension rises as every character moves toward the same violent crossroads, where fear, loyalty, and greed will collide with unstoppable force. The cartel's enforcers arrive cold and professional, demanding Jimmy deliver Phil immediately. Jimmy tries to play both sides, hoping to profit while staying alive. Phil tracks their movements, striking first by capturing a biker who reveals Jimmy's location. Using stealth and skill, Phil disrupts the meth exchange, causing chaos among criminals. Explosions and gunfire turn the quiet bayou into a war zone. Cassie rescues Maddie from danger, proving that goodness still survives inside her. Phil and Jimmy finally come face to face, both driven by desperation, but only one understands that protecting family matters more than winning. Jimmy kidnaps Maddie, believing that controlling Phil's heart gives him ultimate power. Phil surrenders to save his daughter, but uses clever timing to fight back. A brutal showdown erupts at Jimmy's compound, where cartel soldiers, local criminals, and Phil clash violently. Cassie helps Maddie escape, breaking free from her brother's destructive influence. Phil fights with controlled fury, never losing focus on Maddie's safety. Jimmy, cornered and terrified, realizes too late that he chose the wrong enemy. The once proud drug lord is reduced to a frightened man facing consequences he can no longer outrun. As bullets fly and buildings burn, Phil defeats the cartel enforcers one by one, proving his deadly skill remains sharp despite his desire for peace. Jimmy attempts to flee with money, but Phil stops him in a final confrontation. Jimmy begs, but Phil knows letting him go would endanger countless lives, including his daughter's. Police sirens approach as Cassie and Maddie reunite with Phil. The drug empire collapses, leaving only wreckage behind. Justice arrives not through revenge, but through stopping further harm. The bayou grows quiet again, though scars of violence remain in the hearts of those who survived. With Jimmy arrested and the cartel neutralized, Phil finally breathes freely. Cassie chooses to testify, hoping to rebuild her life away from drugs and crime. Maddie, shaken but brave, clings to her father, grateful for his protection. The town slowly begins to heal as criminal networks fade. Phil realizes he cannot erase his past, but he can decide how it shapes his future. Instead of running, he stands proudly as a father and protector. His skills, once tools of war, become shields for those he loves. Peace may be fragile, but it is finally within reach again. In the final moments, Phil and Maddie walk beside the river, reflecting on everything they endured together. The town feels different now, safer and more honest. Phil promises Maddie that no matter what dangers come, he will always protect her. She smiles, knowing her father is more than a fighter. He is her hero. Though violence touched their lives, it did not define them. Homefront becomes not just a place, but a promise of family, courage, and resilience. Against all odds, Phil has found something worth defending more than anything else in the world. A future built on love and trust.